Hello quilty friends and welcome back to my channel. My name's Rachel and I make videos about quilting and my creative life, and I love a good quilt shopping vlog, so that's exactly what we're doing today. Me and my friend are going to the Malvern Quilt show, so I thought I would bring you along and show you around the traders that are there, and then at the end of the video I'll share with you the things that I bought from the quilt show, so do stay tuned for that as well.
The Morvin Quilt show is set at the Three Counties Showgrounds, which is actually a horse riding grounds, I think, but they do hold a lot of shows here, and you get a really nice picturesque view of the Malvern Hills surrounding the grounds. The parking is fairly close to the entrance of the quilt show, and it is nice and quick to get into the show. Now, in the videos that I've captured here, I've tried to capture some of the traders and some of the essence of the quilt show, the atmosphere, because I know a lot of people like to know what the show is like before they attend. So that's what I've tried to capture here. When you first enter, of course, there's always a little bit of a bottleneck around the first few traders. The show does open at 10, and unless you know that you're going to need to spend the whole day there, I would arrive a little bit after 10 so that you can miss that initial rush. Everyone else will be on the second and third row by the time that you arrive. And what I really like about the Morvin show is sometimes you see smaller traders that you don't necessarily get to see at the NEC or some of the larger shows. And this was one of them, Little So-and-so. I'd never seen this business before, but they carried some wonderful products by Laundry Basket Quilts. I was very tempted to buy that whole rainbow fat quarter bundle that you see there. And I'll insert the audio of the shop owner explaining these half square triangle papers to us now.
What you do is you get your, it gives you at the very front, it gives you some instructions on there.
Yeah.
So all you need on this one is two 9-inch squares. So you put them face to face.
Yeah.
Then you put this paper on top. You sew around the dotted line. It tells you what direction and everything. And then when you're done, you cut on the solid line, and it's all your half square triangles. You don't have to measure them.
Oh, and you don't trim them. There's no trimming after that. That's the trimming.
Yeah,
that's really good.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, it's a quick, easy way of doing half square triangles.
Yeah, yeah.
And they're always perfect.
Now, this store here is called Ashme Design, and they have designed a paper replacement product called Hexiform, and you might have seen me use these papers in the past, and basically you leave the papers in there and it acts as a form of wadding, so there's no papers and no removing of the papers. And I'm going to show you in a moment a new block of the month that she's going to be launching. There are very limited spaces available, but it does come with all of the fabric and the Hexiform that you need. And here is the example here. She hadn't finished stitching it yet, and I think she says it was launching in a couple of months' time, and she has got somewhere that you can register your interest on the website. I'll leave all the relevant links down in the description box below, but just look at all of the wonderful dimensional products that you can use, and she's an absolutely wonderful lady who runs this. I have tried to include footage of the shops and their business names, for example if they've got a banner behind their stall. So if you see anything that you like the look of, you may be able to catch their business name in the footage. I do always try and do that, but if there's anything that you like the look of, just let me know the timestamp of when you saw the product, and I'll do my best to let you know in the comments the name of the business and give you the link to their website where I can. I was so happy to see this next door, which is called Little Patch Pockets. It's the first time I've ever seen this business before, and they had so many mini quilts, and I just absolutely adored everything that they had. The shop owners were wonderful and really helpful. So you'll have to have a guess which ones you think I bought, and stay tuned to the haul at the end to see which ones I came away with. I always look forward to seeing this next stand at any show that I go to, but I usually see them at the Morvin show, and they're called Sugar Bowl Crafts, and they literally have me rethinking every colour that I usually tend to go towards. They're so vibrant, all of the colours. They have just a feast for the eyes. They do a lot of pre-cuts, a lot of scrap bags, and just a riot of colour. You can understand why it's so easy to get sucked in. I was at the show with my friend Vicky, so I was very excited when I was at this stand, and a lot of the other stands, to be honest, which is why some of my camera work is not always the best. I was so excited to be sharing things with her, and very tempted to be buying things, but she's much better than my sister. My sister's usually like, yeah, just get it. So I need to go to more shows with Vicky. Well, I guess only when I'm on a budget, and for the Festival of Quilt I will be attending with both of them, and I save money every month, especially for the Festival of Quilts. This is a trader called Oh So Sweet, and they always have a huge sample of Biani bags and patterns available at their stands. It's really good to have a look at what the Biani patterns actually come out like. You can get a feel for them, and the samples are always so well made. This is a stand called Holly's Habadasherie, and they are the UK flagship store, I believe, for Tilda fabrics. So they have so many Tilda fabrics, and I was on the hunt for some yellow Tilda or fabric that would go with Tilda that was a yellow colour. So I had that yellow fabric there earmarked, but I never went back for it. So consequently, I never went back for one of these panels that I wanted, which is why at a quilt show, you should always buy when you see it, because A, it might be sold out when you go back. If you don't go on the first day, things do tend to run out. But second of all, you forget where it is, or you forget what you wanted. This is a lovely trader called Shoot Lane, and she actually draws and illustrates all of these designs that are on the fabrics, and then they're designed for, you know, being the centre of your block or fussy cutting around. They're absolutely brilliant. You do see her at a lot of shows. And there's also a similar trader that I feature later in the video called Sea Parrots, I think their business is called, and they're very similar, but they specialise in bird illustrations. And this is the Stitching Post. This trader is wonderful as well. We had a great chat with her. She had loads of cathedral windows here as samples, and I was tempted. I might have to watch a few tutorials and give that a try, but I don't really need a full commitment of a cathedral window quilt. So talk me out of it in the comments. Bag straps, so many gorgeous and unique different bag straps that they had available in this shop. This green one was absolutely so soft. They was really nice quality. And I believe this stand was called Alphas, I think. You can see the name of the business there on the tag, but they were really nice as well. Then we've got Doughties or Doties, I'm not sure how you pronounce the name of this, but they literally bring their whole shop, I believe, to the quilt show. It's just amazing how much is on display here. And their prices on the bolts are just really good. So you've got batiks for £10 a metre, and then you've got other fabrics for £7-9 a metre. Really good value they have. There's never any issues with them cutting anything off the bolts. They have a really friendly service, and they sell lots of rolls of wadding as well. This is Cowslip Workshops. This is definitely a quilt shop that I want to visit. I believe they're down south, and they hold a lot of workshops, as the name would suggest, and they have lots of French general fabrics in the blues and the reds. And in a moment you'll see Vicky's selections of red fabrics that she purchased. She wants to make a Mrs. Smith's favourite fabric quilt in red and cream French general fabrics, which I think will come out wonderful.
So I hope you enjoyed that little look around Malvern Quilt Show. This was the spring show. They also do an autumn show, but I always find that the autumn show is a little bit smaller. But what's great about, I think it's Grosvenor who organises the quilt shows at Morvin, Uttoxeter, Harrogate, I think there's a few others, that it's free parking there. The tickets are cheap and there is free parking, so it is always worthwhile checking out. I'll leave the link to their website and you can see if they run a quilt show local to you. I wasn't able to film the competition quilts. Unfortunately, there was signs saying that photography was only for personal use, so I wasn't able to do that on this occasion, so I do apologise. But when I go to the Festival of Quilts, I do always film the competition quilts and do a separate video on those. So anyway, let me show you some of the things that I bought because I am so excited to use some of these bits. And I tried to buy things that would either I've got the things at home to do the pattern or I bought the fabric to do the pattern so that I would actually do the pattern. I bought 2 cans of 505 spray temporary spray adhesive for basting quilts because I recently had to ring my sister and say, can I borrow some spray? So one's for her and one's for me. And I bought some half square triangle paper, which is made by Laundry Basket Quilts. So I bought 2 pads of these. They were £12 each. And you basically make half square triangles, foundation paper piece essentially. And I think it might be 8 at a time. And this pack makes 700. And then the other one makes over 1200 because those are 1.5 inch. So those are a lot smaller, but you know, I can't resist anything that's tiny. So these are great for using up layer cakes. I bought this quilt pattern, which is Love Hearts, a quilt pattern by Amanda Green. And I did buy the background fabric for that. It says that you can use jelly rolls, so I'm not sure if I'll use jelly roll or perhaps scraps. I probably have got a couple of jelly rolls that would look good. From a company called Little Patch Pockets, I bought a couple of things for mini quilts. This Licorice All Sorts mini quilt, I thought that was brilliant. It was £15 with the pattern and the fabric. You just need to add your own black fabric for the background, which I think I've got. It only makes a mini quilt, so it's 20 by 20 inches, but I just thought it's so fun to hang up and have around the home. Oh, they've got binding that's got Licorice All Sorts on. I hope the fabric in there is to do the binding, because you got some liquid all sorts fabric at the bottom there. I hope that's the fabric for the binding. And then from the same company, I bought this pattern. Again, it's foundation paper piece, so the paper should be in here, but I haven't opened it yet. It was £15, and the pattern makes both of those quilts there. So I thought that's brilliant, and I'm actually going to start this top one this weekend. So that's a sampler quilt, and I might make that on a vlog over on Patreon. So if you're interested in that, you can check out my Patreon. I have a 7-day free trial on there, so you can check out the videos, the historic ones, try before you buy. So I've already got the fabric to make this sampler one, but this one down here I really liked. So I purchased some fabrics to make that, a slightly different variation, but I'll use yellow as the background. These are laundry basket fabrics, and they are just so gorgeous. Look at those colours, aren't they just wonderful? So that will make that yellowy quilt there, and I won't do it blue, it will be, I guess, purples and just different colours. I might add a few bits in from my stash here and there. I'll just see what I've got, because that quilt has got a lot of variety in it, so I'll see what I can add. I went to the quilt show with the intention of purchasing yellow fabric, and I bought this orangey fabric really. It was for a Tilda project that I'm making, and the quilt pattern uses yellow in it, and I thought, well, the yellow really does enhance the pattern. So I wanted some yellow fabric that would go with Tilda, but this was what I settled on. I think these will go really nice with Tilda fabrics. It was from a company called Axe Home Quilting, and the prices were really, really good. So this was a fat quarter for £1.75. And then these were half meters for £3.50, which is just amazing. Usually for a half meter, you're probably paying about £7. From the same place, I bought this really nice pinky red. I just thought that was a great blender to have in my stash. A fat quarter, says it's a Moda one, again, for the stash. And then we've got an offcut 56 centimetres of this Free Spirit fabric. So it's called Library of Flowers, but I just really liked that. So it's got a little bit of glare. And from the same place, I bought some sewing machine tape. So this tape guide has a red centre seam for you to align with your sewing machine needle, and then simply use the 1/4 inch seam guide either side as you are sewing. Just use a 5-inch piece of tape to attach to your machine. It's recommended you replace the tape regularly. Each roll of tape has 10 metres. So it's just like washi tape. I'm sure you've all seen this before. That was £3, but I've been wanting some of that for a long time. Good for doing half square triangles. I picked up quite a few essentials, a friction heat erasable pen, and then this, I can't remember where this was from, but this was like in the remnants bin, and it is a retro 30s print. So it's Retro's 30s Child Smile, and this was £9 for a metre. So I'll add this into my 30s reproduction prints little box that I'm keeping, with the intentions of making a quilt in the future. So there's one more shop that I bought from, and I'm really excited about these. So first up, this is the background fabric that I purchased for the heart quilt. It's just a very, very, very light grey, and it's just got some flowers on it. I thought that was brilliant, and this is an extra wide. I got 2 meters of extra wide, so that's 108 centimeters wide, so I've got a lot of fabric there. It'll be more than enough. I couldn't resist this beautiful low volume print. It's brilliant, isn't it? Just gorgeous illustrations on it, and that'll look nice no matter how you cut into it and use it. And that is 1/4 of an extra wide, so that's good as well. And then I couldn't resist this one either, strawberries. I think that's a fat quarter of an extra wide. And then I couldn't resist these. This is a double wedding ring quilt. It's by Marcus Fabrics, and it's just labelled as premium quilt backs. But this will not be a quilt back, this will be the quilt top. It'll be a cheetah print quilt top that I am going to hand quilt. How gorgeous is that? I've got the Laurie Holt version of this, it's just here. And I bought the Laurie Holt one from Oak Apple Habadasherie last year at the Festival of Quilts, and I've been hoarding it. I think I've only got a metre of it, so it wouldn't be enough to do a full quilt. But that's the Laurie Holt one. And then that is this one. So the print on this one's a bit smaller. So I don't have to hoard the Laurie Holt one now. I can use it for something. That might make a nice like duffel bag or something. I do like a cheetah print. Now, also I'm kind of learning about myself that if I don't buy the things to finish the project there and then, or I haven't already got it in my stash, I probably wouldn't finish it. So what I thought was, while I'm there, I'm just going to buy the backing for this, so that I've got it and it's ready to hand quilt whenever I want to hand quilt it. So I bought this really soft jade green almost as the backing. It just picks up some of the colours that are throughout. I thought I could either go for the greeny colours that are in here or the blue colours. I just thought I'll just pick out a colour that went with it, and a fairly plain one, so that will be hand quilted. I will probably hand quilt around the double wedding ring, I think, and then perhaps through the background. Maybe I'll even do it in a purple, so it will have quite a lot of dense quilting, but I think it will just be gorgeous, won't it? That'll be one maybe for the winter, a nice winter project. I can be underneath that and hand quilting. So I think I did quite good. I'm quite pleased that I did things to do complete projects, because if you've watched any of my hauls before, you know I just go crazy. Yeah, I'll buy everything. So I did buy a few things. I think I've probably bought maybe 4 or 5 fat quarters there just to add to my stash. And of course this metre. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed the Malvern Quilt Show. If you plan on going in the autumn, do let me know. Oh, there's one other thing that I forgot. I bought myself a new cutting mat, because I've got one that's this size already. And when I moved into the sewing room, you might remember that it was warped, and I've tried loads of people's suggestions to unwarp it, and it does temporarily flatten, but it just goes back. It's like it's memory foam or something, it just goes back. So yes, I just thought I'd buy one of those. It was only £10. You get them quite cheap at the shows, I find, and of course it had to be pink. So once again, thank you so much for watching. You take care, and until the next time I see you, happy quilting.